So as we sit down into child's pose, let's find our intention. Where are we moving today? What are we going to find? What are we going to feel as we move through our spine? How are we going to breathe? Notice if there's any discomfort and adjust. Always keep moving into your postures, easy. Maybe walk our fingers out a little bit further. Draw the shoulders down, bringing our belly to the floor. And if you need to open up your knees, do so. And as we ease into this morning stretch, you want to feel your head and shoulders begin to release. So that's our breath. So today the breath is in through the nose and out through the mouth with the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And you want to hear your breath if it's washing through your body. And we're going to begin to start the move. So we're coming from our child's pose, dragging our shoulders down and lifting ourselves up into tabletop position. And then just back and forth. So again, if you want to open up your knees, do so. And rock back into your heels. Walk those arms out a little bit further. Draw the shoulders down and come forward. So we're moving back and forth, and each time as you move back and forth, move with your breath. Let's breathe in and breathe out. And we're always sinking into our child's pose and strengthening as we come into the tabletop. Two more here. And then we're going to take it into a little different flow. We'll do 4 on each side. So let's take the right hand on top of the left. And again, sink back into that child's pose. Let everything kind of relax into the shoulders, down towards the mat, the head's in between the arms. And then start to come up. Bring your chest in between your arms and sink back. So we'll do 4 of these on this side. And again, each time we sink back a little deeper into our child's pose, and our breath is fluid. In through the nose, out through the nose. One more time. And then sitting back into your heels. Walk the hands back out, and the left comes on top of the right. And again, the shoulders sink down. We hold the stretch for a moment. And then begin the flow. One more time. Into child's pose and forward into table. As we move back into child's pose, let's use the blocks. The hands come right up on top. You want to use the side part of the block, but if your shoulders are tight, you can bring them to the flat side. That's also good. So you pick and choose where you are today and what your shoulders are saying. There's always modifications that work for you to intensify or to decrease. And we're going to sit back into our child's pose and sink a little deeper and try to get our chest to kind of melt into the floor. And then dragging ourselves back up into that tabletop position. So we're going to walk the blocks out. And this time we're not sinking down into child's pose. We want to move the knees so that they're directly underneath our hips. And the further the blocks go out, the more intense the stretch for your shoulders. So you're going to try to bring your chest down towards the floor and keep the hips lifted. So you find your degree of intensity as we hold this stretch. Good. Try to walk your blocks out a little bit further and see, yes, good. And see if you can sink your chest down a little bit more. Nice. Relax through the neck. Feel the chest reach towards the floor, the arms stay still. The hips lift, the hips tilt away, trying to lift your tail towards the ceiling. And then as you begin to round your spine, come forward towards the blocks and walk them in. So from here, we're going to go from our tabletop position forward. And as you go forward, you're going to lift your chest and then just round. So it's kind of like a modified cat stretch into our modified up dog. So nice flow again for the shoulders and for the spine. I want you to feel like you're rippling through each of your vertebrae as we move and lift the chest. Feel as if the abdominals are moving you through each movement. And on the next one, we're going to hold our up dog. So come forward, press the shins into the floor, draw the shoulders back, lift your chest and lift higher. So keep pushing into your blocks and just turn your head from side to side. And then lift your belly and send yourself back. So walk the blocks back out in front. We won't use them for this section. But I want you to feel that your arms can walk out, way out in front of you. So notice if there's a difference from using the block in as we reach into our puppy. So in this particular posture, we're going to keep reaching our chest, try to bring our elbows to the floor. And as we hold this stretch, it's deepening into our shoulders. Walk your fingers out a little bit more so that you can lift your hips a little higher and bring that chest to the floor. If your head makes it to the floor, let it go. Couple more breaths in this nice intense stretch for the shoulders, the neck, opening up the chest. And so as we come out of it, you're going to walk your hands in so that they're underneath your shoulders, and just a couple cat-cows here before we come down to the mat completely. And then let's do that. So we're going to create a flow. So walk those arms all the way out, draw the shoulders down, and bring the elbows down to the mat as you come forward and set the hips down onto the mat. So elbows should be right underneath the shoulders. Walk your hands in, palms are facing downward, legs are stretched out, and this is our Sphinx pose. So you're gonna kind of lift your chest into it, feel your collarbones open as we hold here for a couple breaths, just in through the nose, out through the nose feeling. And if your neck gets tight, just kind of turn your head, loosen it up, and work on pressing the elbows into the mat, lifting your belly button up, and then lifting your chest through your arms as we intensify our Sphinx. One more breath. And then we're going to bring ourselves down. As you walk your elbows out to the side, reach your arms wide into a T. Now, as the arms reach into a T, let's loosen up our shoulders. Just kind of roll your shoulders in and back. So we're alternating from side to side. Rolling our shoulders down and into the mat. And turning your head to look down the opposite way as we stretch. So we're going to do an intense stretch for the shoulders, and you're going to have to guide yourself into this posture. Let's keep the left hand out and move the right hand so that it's underneath your shoulder. And you're going to start to roll yourself over onto the left side of your body. Take your right leg behind the left. And again, your degree of intensity of the stretch is up to you. How far are you going to roll back? How far are you going to stay forward? You're just going to judge what your shoulder's telling you. You want to take your foot and place it right behind the left. Move your right hand in to guide you into your stretch. We're just going to hold this for a couple breaths. And then to come out of it, slowly roll back over onto your belly, straightening the right leg. Taking the right arm out to the side, the left hand underneath your left shoulder. Begin to roll over onto your right side. Let your left foot come behind. And again, you're giving yourself your stretch. Keep your head looking forward, your neck free, your fingers wiggling. And then on your next exhale, we're going to come down onto our belly. Slide the hands back so that they're underneath your shoulders. So maybe if you think your hands are underneath your shoulders, maybe take it back a little bit further back. So roll the shoulders back and down. They should be feeling pretty loose. Reach the elbows back behind you and begin to push your hands forward as you lift your chest to your degree to cobra. Eyes are looking forward. And again, if you bunched up in the neck and shoulders, just bend the elbows a little bit. Always want to be free in the neck as we stretch here. Take a nice deep breath, exhale, lift the belly, round the spine, and come into tabletop position, where I'm going to have you do another cat-cow stretch. And we'll grab our blocks and bring them in. So your blocks are going to be shoulder width apart. And again, your degree, how much do you want to lift the floor up? You go all the way up to the highest point. Okay, so you have low, medium, and high. And we're going to take our hands and place them flat on the top, curl your toes under, lift your belly, and let's come into down dog. So the blocks are great. They help us deepen our stretch in down dog. And you want to draw your shoulders down. And I want you to see, look back at your feet, but not way under your arms. Just kind of little gaze down at your feet. And you're going to be on your heels. And just let your belly kind of reach forward and down towards the floor at the same time. And you want to lift your hips up towards the ceiling and soften through your knees. And from here, we're going to start to pedal your feet. As you're pedaling the feet, like we do in Pilates, you want to make sure that you're lifting up through the arches of your feet. And even though your gaze is looking at the feet, you want to see the bones on the top of your feet lift up through your foot so that you know you're lifting up through the arches. Spread your toes apart. Couple more of these, and if your neck is feeling an issue, just kind of look forward a little bit. So I want you to raise up really high on your tippy toes, and we're going to create a flow here. So lift up high like you're going to do elephant on the reformer, round that spine, and come forward so that you're over your blocks with your chest in a plank. And then drop your gaze, lift your chest, lift your belly, and come back into down dog. We're going to do that a couple more times. So we know this on the reformer as up stretch, rounding the spine and extending into that long stretch, dropping the gaze, lifting the chest, coming back into down dog. Roll through your feet, lift up really high, round the spine. And this is an inhale, and then the exhale. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Rippling through the spine. 1 more time. And then coming back into down dog. Settle here for a little bit, maybe lower those heels down. Feel that stretch through the back of the leg. We got both heels down. Soften through the knees. Get into the soleus. Press the belly towards the thighs. Get into the mid-back and the shoulder blades. See if that improves our breathing. And then lift up very high on those tippy toes. Look at your blocks, and let's step our right foot to the outside of the right block. So we have a nice wide lunge here. I want you to reach your chest forward. So we're going to keep the left hand on the block, and if you need to move it in a little bit, adjust your blocks to where they fit. You're going to reach your chest all the way forward. Take your right hand and place it behind your head, and we're going to open up wide into a revolve twist. Now your left foot is on the tippy toe, lifting up on the ball of the foot, not driving the heel down. So lift up as you open up, and we're going to do a couple twists here. So let's think about the right elbow coming down towards the floor as we look at the left shoulder, and then inhale as you open up, and exhale as you twist. Let's do that 3 more times. Your head is pressing into the palm of your hand to help you open up the chest. One more time. And on this one, let's hold the open. So go as open as you can, draw that shoulder back, and let's extend and finish the full expression of a nice revolve twist. Your eyes can look up or straight ahead, whatever your neck is telling you. And take that right arm, drop it down behind you, and then down towards your block. So we have both hands on the block, and we're going to look to straighten out the right leg and bend. So a couple movements here, forward and back. So as we rock back and forward, I want you to come down and lower your left hip to the floor and come all the way back and stretch out the hamstrings. So you're going to go to your degree, right to the edges. I want you to see how deep you can go into each of those postures. What does it feel like as you come forward? Make sure you're reaching that chest forward so that the hip stays long. Exhale, using your belly to lift back. You're going to do this 3 more times, moving with your breath. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to round. One more time. And as you come back, you're going to step the right foot back, and we're being in our downward facing dog again. Draw those shoulders back, look up between your hands, bend the knees, and come down to the mat. Flatten out your feet, sit back into child's pose, turn the palms up, wiggle your fingers if they need that stretch as we sit into a modified child's pose. This time the knees are parallel, and the hands can be on top of the blocks, wiggling your fingers, keeping those wrists loose. The palms come down, and we're going to move again through a flow. Come forward, drop the chest, find your up dog. Exhale, curl, and come back into child's pose. Two more times. Great job. Last one, forward. And as you come back on this one, curl your toes under and bring yourself up into the down dog. Position your blocks so they feel good to you. Pedal your feet if you need to. Maybe just bend the knees and sink down. Lift your hips up. Feel that nice stretch through the chest. Find what's good for you. We're going to hold down dog for 2 breaths. And then raising up really high on your tippy toes, rounding the spine, look forward at your blocks, and let's step the left foot forward into a nice high lunge. So positioning the block so they feel good for your shoulders so you can find length in your spine. Keep the right hand on the block. Take the left hand behind your head. And let's open up the chest. So we open and then we come around and look at our right shoulder. Inhale, open. And exhale into the twist. One more time. And as you find the best expression of your revolved twist, I want you to push into your right hand, lift your chest, and then extend. If you can extend the arm, reach towards the sky, draw your shoulder down, or maybe just keep the hand behind the head as we hold for 2 breaths. And then slowly let that left hand come down, circle around, and come to the block. So we're going to rock back and forth to your degree, reaching the chest forward. So think of this as like a cat-cow in a lunge position. Again, you're still moving through the spine. And then with each movement, you're deepening the stretch. So maybe as you come forward into the lunge, you let the right hip drop down to deepen out that stretch. Let the left knee open out and then lift back up. Maybe you flex your foot on the left side or keep the toes down, whatever works. And we got 3 more. Good job. And then as you're sitting back towards your heel, push that left foot back. We're in down dog. Draw the shoulders down, bend the knees a little bit. And we're going to move this movement. So we're going to take our right foot and step it forward to the outside of the block. And then you're going to take your left foot forward and step it to the outside of the block. You could stay here, or you can turn those toes out and sink down into your yoga squat, lifting your chest, drawing your shoulders down. And then from the floor, we push up, arms to the sky, draw the shoulders down, and then the hands come down to the heart. So we're going to do that sequence in a flow. So nice deep breath, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bending the knees, coming down into our yoga squat or to your degree. Hands come to the blocks. Let's step left foot back, right foot back. We're in down dog. Pedal the feet to shake it out. And then looking up between your hands, lift up high on your tippy toes, left foot to the outside of the block, right foot to the outside of the right block. Sink down into your degree of a stretch. And exhale, push into the floor, coming up. Hands to the heart center. Nice deep breath, inhale. Bending the knees, coming down to your degree. Hands to the block. Right foot steps back, left foot steps back. We're in that down dog feeling. Again, chest reaching for the thighs, high up on the tippy toes. We're gonna go through one more sequence. Look up between your hands, bend the knees, step right foot, left foot. Your yoga squats. From the floor, we come up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, nice and big stretch. Exhale, coming down to the blocks. Stepping back into down dog. Softening through the knees, flattening out the belly, shoulders dropping down. And then lifting up high on the tippy toes. Last one, stepping left foot forward, right foot forward, yoga squat. Chest up, press into those knees to lift up. Exhale, push into the floor all the way up. And then hands into the heart center. Couple standing postures before we head back down to the floor. So you're gonna find the floor. And we're gonna step really wide on our mat. And you can put the block, one block right here in the front. Nice inhale as the arms come up. As the hands come down, let them come through each of your energy chakras all the way down and into the tailbone, and we're gonna roll down. You're gonna place the hands on the block. So we're going to look for a flat back. So I'll stand aside. Block can go way, way out, and we're gonna let our hips lift and we're gonna let our sink down. So head in between the arms, it's kind of like a wide angle down dog. Sit back into your heels maybe, or maybe come forward, just kind of rock back and forth to find your hamstring stretch with a little tilt upward of your tailbone. And you can stay here if this is where you want to be, or you can bring your hands to the floor, maybe walk them through your legs, reaching the arms out. So again, you're going to find your degree or wherever you need to be. Soften through the knees maybe. Lift the hips up a little bit. And then wherever you are, find your block. And we're going to bring it right in front of us. I want you to put your right hand on the block and push yourself up. And we're going to revolve. So grab your ribs, bring yourself all the way around and reach up. Maybe let that hand fall behind you to make that a little more intense. But if your elbow's lifted off, let's not do that. Let's just keep the reach. So you find which is best for you as we go into a little bit of a bind if you choose. Push into that block, lift your chest even more. Beautiful job, good. And as you take your hand and bring it back up towards the sky, bring it all the way down to the block. So we want our back to be flat here. So position your block, whether it's on its sides, what side works best for you. It might even be on the high side. So reach your chest forward, push into it, grab your ribs and bring yourself around for that revolved position. Reach up, roll that shoulder back. If you like a little bit of a bind, grab the hip. Roll back again through the torso. Try not to let the elbow lift too far away. Maybe extend that arm if it feels good. And then bring it back to the block. So we're going to take the block over to our left foot. And we're going to kind of hang out here on the left side. So bring your body down towards the left knee. Let everything fall forward. So shift your weight forward if you find yourself sitting into your heels. And we're going to come back into that flat back. So push both hands into the block, reaching your chest away. And we're going to bend the left knee as we stretch our right leg. So, and then we're going to straighten it. So we're going to move. So your right leg is straight and you're looking for an inner thigh stretch here. So position your block in a height that works best for you. And again, bend, reach your chest away, look for that inner thigh stretch and then straighten. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. And then as you straighten out your legs, let everything fall to the floor or bring your block back to the center. Let everything fall forward here. Nice inhale. Exhale, coming up. Move the block over to the right side. So softening the body, let everything fall down to that block. And then position the block on the height that works best for you. We're going to go into that flat back, nice lunge, stretching the inner thigh of the left leg now, and then straighten. Inhale into the lunge. Watch your right knee. Make sure it doesn't go forward over the toes. So you don't want to go that deep into the lunge that you lunge forward. You're looking for a stretch on the inner thigh. 3. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. And then we're coming back into the center. Take your block, reach it far away, and then just let everything come down to the mat. And if it's in your practice, maybe you bring your elbows down to the mat. Whatever works best for you. Bend your knees slightly. Shift your weight back into your heels. Walk your hands in and just let yourself roll up slow. Step the feet together. You're going to take your fingertips and place it on the waistband of your pants and drop the heels. But if that bothers your wrist, put the heels of your hand on your waistband. You want to brace the hips. So whatever works best for you, you're going to drop your hips down and lift your chest upward as we do a little back bend here. Be careful not to let the head be free. You want to still feel it engaged as we open up the collarbone. And as you exhale, let those hands go. Breathe in as the arms come up. And then let all the fingertips go through each of the energy chakras all the way down to the seed center. One more time, nice inhale. And exhale. Hold at the heart. So we're going to move into some standing posture. So if you have a wall and you want to use it, go ahead. We're going to start by pushing down into our right foot and picking up our left leg. And we're going to grab our ankle. So put your right hand on the wall. Yeah, or the left, yeah, that'd be better. And use the outside leg. So you want to hold like that. Yeah. I can't move my concentration. All right, so when we're in this posture, we're holding on to the ankle. It's just a quad stretch, and you want to lift your chest all the way up. So I'm going to say, give us a month or two. We're going to move into dancer pose. Your leg's going to shoot back behind you. Lift your chest all the way up. We're going to stretch those hips to our degree. And then on your exhale, let that foot go and move it down towards the floor. So now you're going to switch sides. We're going to do the other side. Use the wall for balance so that we can get the stretch. All right, so hands to the heart center. Pick up your foot. Find your balance, and then you're going to reach back and grab your ankle. You want the knees to be kind of close to you. Remember, we talked about the drishti point. You want your gaze to look down your cheekbones. So feel your ankle press into your hand. Feel your chest lift. And your eyes are looking at your drishti point. It's just out in front of you. And then on your next breath, let that foot go and place it down. Shake it all out. Nice deep breath. Exhale, grab a hold of your right wrist, lift your body up, and let's go over to the side. Draw your shoulders down and take your right hip out to the side. And roll your right shoulder back. Letting go, let both arms reach. Exhale, use those muscles that you stretch to lift you back up. And let the hands come down into the heart center. Another side bending stretch on the other side. Nice deep breath. Grabbing hold of the wrist, lift your ribs up and over. When you reach your upper body stretch, start to add the hips. Start to reach the hip away. Eyes are still looking down until you find your nice stretch here. Roll your left shoulder back and let the gaze look up if that feels good. And once you feel your stretch on this side, let's work those abs and let go and reach. Use those muscles to lift you up and let the hands come back into the heart center. So coming to the front edge of your mat, nice deep breath. Inhale, arms come up. Let's fold towards the floor. As you fold towards the floor, use your blocks if you like. Step back into downward facing dog. As you step into downward facing dog, just kind of do a couple breaths here. Maybe soften through the knees, enjoy that stretch. And then look forward and bring your knees down to the mat. So you're welcome to continue to use the blocks, or you can come to the floor into a tabletop position, whatever your wrists are telling you today. And you're going to draw your shoulders down your back. Feel the length of your spine as you reach your chest forward and the belly lifts. Notice if there's a difference from when you first started to now. And we're going to start with the right leg, and you're going to send it all the way back out behind you. Really reach it so that you feel that stretch through the hip. And then I want you to take your left hand and reach it straight out in front with the thumb up, and it's only going to be to your height, whatever feels good for your shoulder. As you lift up your right foot, flex your foot. Bend your right knee and tick-tock it over to the left. Sweep your left hand around. See if you can find your foot. If you can, grab a hold of it. Peace signs on the big toe maybe. Lift your chest up. And if we're not in that position yet, that's totally fine, because that's what we're going to be doing standing. Lift your chest really long. Let it go. Reach both arms back out. Flex that foot. Reach the fingers. And then find the mat. Again, spread out the fingers. Find a nice strong base. Stretch the left leg all the way back behind you. Let it rest on the floor so that you can find your upper body strength. Reach the right arm all the way out, thumbs up. And on your exhale, flex the left foot and lift it. Lift your belly. Feel that stability in your body as you bend the left knee and tick-tock it over to the right. Circle that right hand around. If you find your foot, grab a hold of it. Lift your chest, press your foot into your hand and lift. Again, if we're not there, we're just reaching. All's good. On your exhales, bring everything back into that stretching tiger. Reach the heel away, fingertips reaching, and on your exhale, come down to the mat. Shift your weight back into child's pose. And we're going to come forward into a seated position. So we're going to stretch the legs out in front of us today. And we're going to start with the right leg. So we're going to take the right foot and we're going to bring it in to your degree. So we're going to start it like a seated tree pose. So bring the right foot in as high as you feel comfortable through your knee. It could even be down here by the calf. What we're doing is we're spiraling the right leg open. That's the goal, wherever you are. Flex through the left foot. Draw the top of the foot towards the shins. Lift your whole body up, and then push your hips forward and keep pushing your hips forward to your degree. Again, you're welcome to use those blocks. Might as well use them, right? We got them now. And we're going to let them find our stretch. So I don't want to round and be here. I want to lift up and push the hips forward as far as I can, and then let my hands go. So it's all about stretching through the lower back, not through the upper back. So if you're not feeling it in the lower back, come back to your degree and just start to reach your chest forward. That's our plan. One more breath. And we're going to come up. So we're going to start by taking our right hand to the right knee and our left hand to the outside of our left foot. You want to flex your foot like you're going to stand in your hand. You're welcome to bend the left knee, but I want you to lift up again really tall and press into your hands as you move the leg across the body and back. So we're cradling that leg. We're just starting to open up that hip. But if you do go a little deeper, you can wrap your arm around and bring it into a little deeper, but start small. It's always good. And then we're going to plant that foot onto the floor. So I have it on the inside. You can also have it on the outside. Again, it depends on how far you're cradling. Lace your fingers together and place them around your knee. And again, we're going to take the belly and push it forward towards your thighs. And then the chest as you lift up really tall. Draw those shoulders down and look straight ahead. Keep your right hand on the knee and lift the left arm straight up. And use your right hand to keep that knee turned in as you twist. Let that left arm wrap around that knee, and we're going to bring the right hand behind us as we lift our chest into a twist. Again, you're welcome to bind here. That's also an option. And then as you come out of that, just let that right leg come back out and shake it out. Other side. So we start by bringing the left foot in to where you have a nice rotation of the hip. Our goal is to keep spiraling and loosening up the hips so that the leg is resting on the floor. We don't want to be up here yet, all right? So figure out where your leg belongs. Lift your chest upward, and we're going to bring the hips forward. Use the blocks to help increase the stretch. Take a look at our foot. Make sure it's flat. It wants to be like it's standing on the ground because eventually this is your tree, right? So I want you to feel yourself push those hips forward and hold at your degree. Keep reaching through the right leg so you don't get bound up into the hips. And hold for a couple breaths. Coming out of the stretch and deepening it. Hand to the knee, right hand to the foot. You want to press equally into both. You want to feel both legs. Lifting your chest, just rock that leg back and forth as we encourage a deeper stretch for our hip. And then we're just gonna take that left foot and place it on the inside part of our right leg. Lace our fingers together, bring everything into the center and sit up as tall as you can. So hips going forward. And that all depends on the flexibility of your lower back. So put yourself where you need to be. Lift your chest all the way up and press into your left hand. So your left hand and your knee are coming in as you lift up. And you're going to use it to twist you around. You can bring that arm and wrap it around that knee to encourage that stretch, and then the left hand goes behind you, and you're going to lift up and around. Great job. Coming out of it, bringing everything back and shaking out the legs. All righty. So we're going to place our blocks off to the side. We won't need those as of yet. And we're going to grab a hold of our knees. So take a nice deep breath and hang a little bit from your legs until you find that nice C shape to your body, and just start to walk yourself in. And we're going to lift our feet up. So grab your thighs, holding boat pose, draw your shoulders down your back. And then you can let go and hold right here. You can maybe add a little twist to it. Maybe just staying in the center might be your place. Work a little bit of those abs here. And then coming back to the center, slowly lower down, bringing your feet in as close as possible to you. lying down on the mat. So walk your feet in, arms reaching long, and let's just kind of roll our shoulders underneath us. So just kind of let the shoulder blades come underneath you and begin that next posture here in bridge. So take a nice deep breath, and on your exhale, the hips slowly come up. And so you have many options here in our bridge. Our goal is to stretch out the front of the body. So the more you walk your shoulders underneath you, the more you're going to lift your heart. That might be an option. You can also raise up high on your tippy toes to facilitate your hands coming underneath you. To push your hips up even higher, use your hands to do that. Walking your elbows underneath you, holding that nice stretch. Couple more breaths wherever you are. And then wherever you are, we separate the shoulder blades first. Let them be wide. The arms come all the way over your head, and then slowly let everything come down to the mat. We're going to stretch the left leg all the way out across the mat and pick up the right and pull it into the chest. So you can hold the shin and draw it into the chest, or you can still hold the thigh wherever you want. You want a natural tracking, no wider than your shoulder. You want to have your leg drawing inward. And we're going to lift up the left leg and flex that foot. Feel the abdominals fire. Flex both feet and reach. Let's switch those legs. Stretch the right leg out as you draw the left knee in. And then switch. So we got a little bicycle going on. You're welcome to stay lying down as you do your bicycle, but keep the feet flexed, drawing the knee in. Feel your abdominals. Make sure you're not feeling it in your lower back. And you can also add a chest curl to this. We know this is single leg stretch. Let's do one more on each side. And we'll bring both knees in tight as a ball and then lie back down again. Walk the feet down to the mat. So we're going to keep the right foot on the mat and the left leg is going to stretch out. Take your arms out really wide. We're going to go into a spine twist. And as we start to roll over onto our left side, you're bringing the knee across your body. Take a hold of the right thigh and draw it across. It doesn't have to touch the floor. That's not the goal. The goal is to feel a nice stretch in the hips and the low back. And with each breath, let yourself go deeper into the twist by encouraging your knee to reach away. Bringing it back in, place that foot on the floor, walk that leg out, and let's bring the left one in. Arms staying out into that T. Let's begin to drop that left knee across the body, maybe grab a hold of it, encourage it to stretch. And just feel what's stretching. Allowing yourself to go deeper into it by breathing. And as you bring your leg back slowly, walk those feet back in. Pull the knees into the chest and just kind of rock from side to side. Coming into the center, You're welcome to use your block for this next posture. It's called legs up the wall. You can also go over to your wall and put your legs up against the wall. You want your seat to be all the way up against the wall. And if you don't have a wall like me, you can place your hips underneath, the block underneath your hips, and we'll walk our legs up the wall. Wherever you are, it's allowing your hips to release, allowing the blood to circulate through the body. It increases that circulation. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths, so find that comfortable place. And if you notice any tension anywhere, just let your breath go to it and allow that tension to melt into the floor. Two more breaths. And you're going to walk your feet down slowly to the mat. With the feet down, just pause again for a second. You're up against the wall. Just roll over to your side. And we'll all meet in a seated posture. So you can bring yourself up to that seated posture. Take your time. And we'll sit with our ankles crossed. Fingertips are out wide. We're just going to spiral. Let yourself go all the way around into your degree. Lift your chest to go a little deeper. Bring yourself back to the center, and we'll do the other side. As you come back to the center, just let your hands walk out in front of you, rounding over your legs. Notice your lower back. How does it feel? And as you walk your hands in, circle them around behind you, fingertips facing you. Lean back into your hands and then push down into the floor to lift your chest. Bringing yourself back into upright. Let the arms reach out big, turning your head from side to side. And as you turn your head over to the right, drop your chin to look down. Lift your head all the way over to the left and drop your chin down. Coming back into the center, drop your chin down, chest to the chest. Let any tension that you find in your neck, let it go. And then lift your gaze up towards the sky. Maybe push your chin forward a little bit, feel the stretch in your neck, collarbone. Bringing your head in an upright position, nice deep breath, inhale. Exhale, fingertips touch, let everything come down through each of the energy zones. And then lift it right back up and give some away. Again, inhale up, gather some energy back and bring it in, and then give some away. Breathe in as the fingers come to your forehead. Lift your gaze, lift your chest. Find a grateful heart today. Thank you so much for joining me.